Okay, so here we are with Kelly Serbousek, and we're going to start her Artistry of ALS interview. Welcome, Kelly. Why don't you tell us all a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get right into our questions, if that's okay.
Hi, and thank you for allowing me to be here. For this, it's so exciting, and it's great to see that people with ALS are given the opportunity to share their artwork and their messages through this forum. So thank you. So again, my name is Kelly Serbousek, and I was diagnosed with ALS in March of 2022, although my symptoms started in October of 2019. With limb onset in my right foot. So I've definitely progressed over the time and have found great resources in terms of support groups and things like this to see me through the days and share light on this horrible disease.
I'm really glad that you do. It certainly is a blessing to me whenever I come across something on social media that somebody has posted and it's something that is bringing light and joy out into the world. It's something that is really, I think, needed by a lot of people, myself especially. So thank you for what you do too.
Thank you.
So tell me, were you an artist before you were diagnosed with ALS, or I see that you've submitted a photo and then you add some tags to your photos. Is this a newfound skill or something you've always been doing?
So I've never really considered myself an artist per se, but I've always enjoyed painting and taking pictures, doing photography. I like to bird watch and take pictures of the birds outside, and I love the flowers in the yard and love to take pictures of flowers and of nature. And so even though I've never really said I'm an artist, I've always enjoyed those types of things.
I think anybody who can take a good photograph is an artist. I tried the point and click method, and I'm really grateful for all the edit functions on my iPhone because without it, it just wouldn't happen. I have a very good friend who's been a photographer since high school, and just her stuff is just so luminous and so amazing. And I always admire people who can take great photographs.
Absolutely.
So you kind of told me already how long you've been living with ALS, and you sort of
Mhm.
already told me some things that you're passionate about. Is there something else besides your photography and your art that you're passionate about that you'd like to share with people?
So currently, I'm kind of limited in terms of mobility. I'm in the wheelchair 24/7, but I love spending time with my family, my friends. They all gather at the house and come over and make the days brighter and the weekends brighter. And I have two grandchildren that definitely light up my days. So I'm very passionate about spending time with family and friends. Because ALS has taken so much from me in terms of mobility and that kind of thing that I refuse to let it take my happiness.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean,
And so I find that happiness, when I'm surrounded with the friends and family.
that's amazing. I'm glad you have them all, and I found the same was true for us. Yes, you have certain people that disappear when the diagnosis happens, but all of those people that surround you and stick with you and are there for you, it really strips you down to the most important pieces of yourself. And one of the things that we say in our group is this diagnosis is awful, but it's also a gift because it teaches us how to be present, and it reteaches us how to love, and it reteaches us how to understand people, and it reteaches us compassion. If we have forgotten those things in the day-to-day grind, it just kind of pares us all down to just those four things, and those are the most important things. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I'd like to share my screen, and I'd like to pull up the artwork that you have so we can talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to prep that. Okay, there we go. So, Kelly, this is the picture that you shared with us.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful photograph. Where did you take this picture?
Thank you. Yes, I was on a cruise ship. I'm out in the Atlantic Ocean on our way from Florida to the Bahamas. It was the first cruise my husband and I had ever taken. And it was before my diagnosis, actually. And I had just started limping a little bit at that time and didn't really know what was going on. And as I got sick, I was looking back at photos, and I actually had saved this one as a screensaver on my phone because when I got my diagnosis, I really questioned my faith.
Sure.
And this photo just spoke to me in terms of that there's a higher power.
Sure. I can see it.
So it kind of just stuck with me. And then when I saw um, the opportunity to participate in the artistry for ALS, I was like, wow, I know the exact photo that I want to share.
It's beautiful. I'm glad you did. So the
Thank you.
words you have on here is the moment you get your faith back. So as you were going back through those photos and you saw this picture, and I imagine it's probably the sunrise or the sun rays bursting through the clouds that really spoke to you. Can you take yourself back to the day that you were
Absolutely.
on the ship first and tell me what you were thinking when you saw this picture when you were on the ship, or this image, this scene when you were on the ship?
Right. So I was actually on the balcony in the morning and I was by myself. My husband was still sleeping when I took this picture. And I remember calling out to him saying, you've got to come look at this. It's just amazing. I've never seen anything like it. And I'm like, God is speaking to us through these clouds. And it was just one of those moments that changes you kind of.
Yeah. And then I imagine after your diagnosis and you're having a really hard time and you're just flipping through, and then here's that image that comes right back to remind you that he's right there with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because at first I was angry and mad and I really questioned my faith and, is there a God and why is he doing this to me and all those types of things. And it took me a long time to get over that anger and realize that it's not something he's doing to me.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And you and I were talking earlier too about, what's important. And I went through some of the same struggles that you did as well. And I just get back to nobody wants to say that this is something that's good that's happened because it's not, but the gifts that you receive when you get a diagnosis like this of understanding what's important and being surrounded by your people and having presence and love and compassion and understanding surround you when maybe you had forgotten that before. Um, I think this picture just really brings that home for me. So I thank you for submitting it and thank you for
Thank
telling me
you.
the story around it. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm going to get back to some of our questions if that's okay. Um,
Sure.
you take a lot of pictures besides this memory, which is amazing. Do you have another favorite memory about a time where you were taking pictures or but either by yourself or with other people?
I do. So I actually have a couple. One is funny and one is just a great memory. So my son Anthony loves photography as well. He's my youngest son. And right before I got sick, me and him took our cameras and went to the park and spent the entire day together, just playing with our cameras and our different functions and learning about the different settings on the cameras. And we ran across this pond that had all these frogs in it. And so me and him just spent the day having the most fun, taking pictures of these frogs and with all different kinds of things. But so when I got home, though, I blew up the pictures and decorated my bathroom upstairs in the hallway with all the frog pictures. And to this day, they're still hanging up there. And so that was a fun memory of, that doing art together with my youngest son for sure.
I love that. Do you have any of those pictures posted on social media?
I don't. I probably should post a couple because some of them are kind of funny. But yeah, and so that whole experience that my son had gotten into photography a little bit before that, just kind of like me, just like to take pictures of different things, and he's still doing that today. So that's something that him and I share.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful memory, and it's a wonderful legacy that you
Yeah,
continue. That's great. If you
great
get
fun.
around to it, I'm going to stalk you on social media, and if you get
Uh,
around to posting those, I would love to see some of them.
Okay.
I
And
love
then
frogs too, so.
and then one funny memory was I took my little sister Leslie to a paint night. It was like, sip wine and paint type of thing. And so it was like a sister night for us because we don't get many of those because she works and I was, working at the time. And it was right before I got sick as well. And we went to this paint night and instead of drinking from the wine glass, she sipped the water from the dirty paintbrush cup by mistake.
Oh no.
And it was hysterical. And oh my gosh. So she'll never live that one down. But it was a great time
I think that's
that we
probably
had.
why I would have
And
to not do that, because I could see myself doing the same thing.
yeah, we were so into painting and talking about the tree we were painting, and there was like a moon on the water with the big tree on the side. We were so into it, and she just goes to grab her wine, but accidentally grabs the dirty paintbrush.
Whoops.
And it was so funny. So to this
That's
day, we still giggle about it.
a really fun memory.
Yeah, for
My
sure.
my sister's one of my favorite people too. We spend a lot of time together,
But
traveling together, and spending time with our children. We both have adult children, and that's it's a really great time when you can spend time with your sister.
absolutely.
So I know you love photography. Is that the form of art that speaks to you the most, or is there something else that touches you more?
So I would say the photography and then just paintings of nature. I really anything actually photography and paintings of nature are probably the ones that speak to me the most. Things of just being outside and in the wild and different things like waterfalls, trees, birds, flowers, things of those nature all speak to me for sure.
I love those Windows wallpaper. You know how it changes now with Windows, the new Windows version. It'll change your wallpaper automatically if that's what you want. And I love seeing those landscape pictures or architecture pictures of places around the world. That's something that speaks to me too. It's nice
Yes,
to get a
absolutely.
surprise every morning when I log in. What am I going to see? Where am I going to be? I love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me something that you want people who are viewing this art show. They're going to come across your picture in this gallery. What is one thing that you want them to know about you as a person?
So obviously I never thought in a million years that I would get this horrific disease.
Mhm.
Um, and that I just pray every day and every minute that a cure will come along in time for me and so many others that are suffering from this. And so as a person, so want everyone to know that I'm praying that we all get cured. I always told that we do the flag at the national monument, I am ALS sponsors that every year, and I submit my name to be on the flag. And on one of the group meetings or on social media, I posted that they'll find a cure, then we'll all go up there and dance on that lawn one day and fly our own flag in our hand instead of putting the flag in the ground to send the message, right?
I love
So praying for that cure for sure.
that idea. That's beautiful.
Thanks.
So, what's one thing that you want people who look at this picture to know about your artwork or your photographer or your photography, or what inspires your work? One of those three
Yeah.
things.
So I hope it sends the message not to give up faith and not to give up fighting this disease. Um, like I had said, I was in a really, well, not a really dark place, but I really was doubting, faith and, how can this be happening and that kind of thing. And I just want when someone looks at it to realize that there is a higher power and that maybe they could find some peace and strength when they look at that photo and be able to carry themselves through that and get to a lighter place and a happier place and realize that everyone is there to support them and love them, and that higher power is there too.
That's wonderful. So I know that you post a lot of your photos on social media every day. Can you tell us what it means for you to still be able to take the photos and then share your art with other people?
So on social media, mostly I'm sharing pictures of family and times of fun, out when I can get outside and that kind of thing. And so I feel blessed that I can still use my hands and be able to do that. My hands are getting weaker, but um, I feel blessed that I can still take the pictures and be able to post them and communicate. And so that's what carries me through every day, knowing that I could still do that, and just trying to stay strong and do it as much as I can to be able to save memories for people to look back on after I'm gone.
Right. And the fun part too. It's always
Yeah,
fun to spend that time with everybody. Fun for you as
absolutely.
well.
Yes.
So it sounds to me like we've been talking this entire interview about things that you have learned from your ALS journey. But is there something in particular that you'd like to share with everybody about that?
So I would have to say that, for the most part, I've always been a happy person, and have always felt blessed. But again, in the darkness of the disease, it hit me how blessed I really am. And I think that I learned, not that I didn't feel blessed before, but I think it really just centers in and hits you to your core about all those blessings. And just, finding the joy in every day and all the simple little things.
I
And
think
just the grandchild smile, those kind of things. And I feel, I'm blessed to have my husband beside me. He's really supportive and does so much for me and all my family to help me through this.
we had the same experience. We were completely surrounded by the people that loved us. And
Great.
even if we were isolated from them, even if we couldn't see them, even if they were not with us, they were still pinging us every day and calling us every day and sharing pictures of their travel with us. I was one of those people that, it's bad enough that we can't be with you, but I wasn't going to let that get me down. Take me with you. Get on and do a video and share it with
Yeah,
me and help me, see this experience the way that you're seeing it. And it really made it a lot better. The fact that we could share our experience with our friends who have never been through the. We had all been so blessed. We had never been touched by anything like this, and
yeah,
to be able to create awareness in our personal circle and grow together was a real blessing to us as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. So my last question is: if there's something that I didn't ask you, if you were doing this interview, what's a question that you might have asked me that I didn't ask you?
Oh, goodness.
Take your time because that's a hard one. We
That
talked
is
about a
hard.
lot of different things.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I think you did a good job in all the questions that you asked me. Oh, got me emotional for sure. And usually I'm not a big crybaby, but I'm
In,
like,
in our support groups, all questions are allowed, and tears are
I
allowed, and
don't know. This is
tissues
just,
are always there. In fact, I had them here, and I got up right before our interview, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I think I dropped my tissue somewhere. So I've just been wiping it on my.
oh,
But yeah, I mean, tears just show the love that we have in our heart for people, and I think it's important to just allow them to flow when they come.
yeah, I just didn't expect it today. I was trying to be strong.
Oh, well,
But thank you.
I appreciate you sharing your heart with me, and even your tears. I appreciate those too.
Thank you.
Thank you.